Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, right off the bat, you can probably tell it's a little different. There's no video of my normally beautiful face. Well, I had the surgery for my skin cancer today. We're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. But for your sake, for my sake, we're going to keep it audio until I can get back to my normal, shining, beautiful face in order to keep ourselves focused on this mission. So with that, I've got everything linked in the description box below, and I want to hear what you guys think of this new format while I'm healing, while I'm getting a little bit better, because you never know. We might incorporate something like this going forward if you guys like it. But what we're going to talk about tonight is, I'm going to be quite honest with you, extremely tragic. This is something that I do not like talking about. This is something that is a horrible thing to even think about in anyone's life of anyone that I know, and I'm sure it's the same for you. We've got to talk about something where a young child actually became a victim of existing crime. Now, I don't like doing this, like I said, but it's important because CNN, those amazing, incredible people over there, are turning it into something that it's not. And that's why we got to call them on it, because this is really important. A 14-year-old girl was shot and killed by her brother, who was making and selling guns, Georgia sheriff says. Now, this is from, I can't even say the person's name, from CNN. Like I said, it's linked in the description box below. CNN. A 13-year-old boy who was manufacturing and selling so-called ghost guns, boo, has been arrested after he allegedly shot and killed his 14-year-old sister with one of his own homemade firearms, according to the Douglas County, Georgia Sheriff's Office. Now, this is pretty close to me, so, I mean, it's just kind of strikes a little closer to home, but it is very tragic. But listen to where we go with this. This is disgusting on CNN's part. Two people had come to the family's home in Douglasville, around 20 miles west of Atlanta, on November 27th to purchase a gun that the 13-year-old had made, Douglas County Sheriff Tim Pound said in the news conference live streamed by CNN affiliate blah, 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 Wednesday. Okay, right off the bat, what is a 13-year-old doing with the knowledge or even the awareness or even the privacy in order to build a firearm? Moreover, why are two people coming to the house who are talking to a 13-year-old, presumably, about something shady? What is going on there that even is possible? It's the first thing I want to bring to your attention. Now let's keep going, because there's going to be holes that are coming out of this like crazy. But instead of buying the firearm, the pair stole the gun from the 13-year-old and fled the scene, the sheriff told reporters. The boy then shot at them as they were leaving, Pound said, but instead struck his 14-year-old sister, who was identified by the sheriff's office as Kyra Scott. Investigators believe the weapon he used was one that he had made. Okay, so in this one individual instance, you have a 13-year-old who is manufacturing firearms, which is a federal crime, possession of a firearm, a federal crime for a 13-year-old, and a local crime in Georgia, a 19-year-old, well, it doesn't tell you that yet, but there's a 19-year-old among two people who are coming to buy the gun without a background check illicitly, both underage for a handgun, specifically in Georgia, and they have this privacy to do this. Does anyone have red flags thrown up anywhere? I'm just saying. All right, let's keep going. Authorities have arrested Kyra's 13-year-old brother and 19-year-old Yusuf Jibril MacArthur L., one of the two people who had come to buy the homemade gun, the sheriff's office said in a news release. The 13-year-old has admitted to the shooting. Okay, again, my whole point here is, where are the parents? I have children myself. When my 8-year-old is quiet for more than 10 minutes, I'm concerned. How does a 13-year-old have enough time to not only be around to buy the parts that you would do this, have access to the tools to do it, have people coming in, buying and selling firearms, have his own firearm for defense for these illicit deals, and no one notices? Just saying. No, let's blame the ghost guns. Boo. According to the news release from the sheriff's office, people at the home tried to transport Kyra to the hospital but stopped at a gas station where they were met by EMTs and sheriff's deputies. Okay, so now we're going to wrap this last piece right here. You're telling me at the time that two 19-year-olds walked up into an individual's home where a 13-year-old was selling them a gun with a 14-year-old in the room, there were adults there old enough to drive the child to the hospital? Anybody? Any questions for anybody from anywhere? But no, this is definitely the ease of firearm accessibility in the United States. No other problems are going on. So let's just recap fully what's going on here, and this is how CNN is framing a ghost guns conversation. A 13-year-old owns his own firearm, his own handgun. A 13-year-old is manufacturing and selling firearms, a federal crime that is ATF land, that is putting you in jail, that is NFA territory. Then you've got a 14-year-old who's aware and in the room close enough to get injured by stray gunfire. Then you've got the 19-year-olds coming to buy an illicit firearm from a 13-year-old who has manufactured these guns. They are not doing background checks. They are buying a gun that is illegally manufactured and presumably cannot pass a background check. Oh, because in Georgia, you can't buy a handgun until you're 21. All of these laws were already in place, including federal, state, and local. None of these things had anything to do with it. All the while, you had adults that were of driving age able to drive this young victim to the hospital there and had no idea what was going on. Yeah, it's about the ghost guns. That's what it's about. And that brings you back to the entire conversation that we've been talking about for months now together. Why? If all these laws already exist, why is this even possible to happen? Because by the left's own description of laws and how it works, when there are laws in place, people simply won't behave poorly. Incorrect, completely false, and that's what we prove every night here on this channel. This is about the fact that you cannot legislate out morality. The parents involved in this are just as culpable as the parents that were in Michigan who were negligent around their child and the warning signs. This is incredibly important, and it goes back to the sickness of the heart that we have in this nation. This is incredibly sad, but it's not the laws that are going to fix the problems that we have. It's involving ourselves in our children's lives and being parents to those that need guidance, specifically in this case and others that we've talked about. And that's what I have for you guys tonight. Let me know what you think of in the comments below the new format, and I will see you on the next one. This is Braden signing out.